Boy, I sure do love advertising. It's one of my favorite things. I mean, I would drive an hour just to see a well-placed billboard on the highway. I leave the movie theater once the trailers are done playing, and I even beat it to the AI voiced flash animations that play before the video actually starts on the porn websites. Actually, what I meant to say was that advertising is one of the only things that truly offends me. Like, if every marketing company and advertising related business could like go under tomorrow, it would be way too late. Like, I don't know, it's just one of the worst things ever. And what was I talking about again? Right, television. So if you've ever used a TV that was made in the last like 10 to 15 years, you probably noticed it has ads just all over it. Like ads on your home screen, ads in your input selection interface, ads in the settings menu, and even ads when you pause your YouTube videos within the YouTube app, even though you already pay for YouTube Premium. It's super cool times we live in, present year. Now, unlike literally every person I've ever interacted with in real life, when I see an ad presented to me on a device that I own, I need to figure out how to get rid of it. I need to figure out how to block those ads, how to get rid of the thing showing me the ad, or I just need to get a different device that doesn't show me ads. Because like, I paid good money for this TV, you know, to a guy on Craigslist, but like presumably Sony got money from that guy, or at some point they got money, and that wasn't enough for them. Sony can get bent, or maybe Google can get bent. They both can get bent. I'm not sure who is actually more responsible for the ads on this TV, because like the operating system is made by Google, but Sony like customizes it and controls it, and they could remove those ads if they wanted to. Anyways, let's free our TVs from these terrible baked-in advertisements. Let's free our TV from terrible software. I mean, how hard could it be? To get this out of the way, if you want all ads removed from your TV's interface, it'll probably need to be running Android TV, or like a really old dumb TV. I mean, probably. I haven't messed with every TV out there, but like I used to own an LG TV and a Samsung TV, and like, I don't know, it's pretty much impossible to remove all of the ads from the interface. You could like disable personalized ads. You could disable like some tracking, or at least they say it disables it, but how would you really know even? But like, as far as I can tell, Android is the only OS that actually lets you get in there and delete ads out of your TV by like straight deleting the actual applications that are showing you ads and replacing them. And as far as I know, in the US, that's pretty much just Sony TVs. Like a lot of other cheap TVs either have like Roku's or some other weird OS built in. LG has their own like WebOS, which was actually like, man, that was like a mobile operating system. I remember I had like what was it called? HP touchpad or something like that. It was like a tablet that I hacked Android onto when I was a teenager, but that used to run WebOS, but now that's controlling LG smart TVs. They turned it into a cool advertising thing for your TV. And then Samsung has its own like Tizen or whatever. I don't remember what they call it. I'm gonna have it all on the screen because I didn't research this part because I don't own those TVs. But like, yeah, basically if you want an Android TV, one that's like built into your TV, and you live in the US, your options are pretty much just Sony. Hi, my name is RPG Waiter, and today I'm gonna show you a cool move for your smart TV. In this cool move, I'm gonna teach you how to tell if your TV runs Android. I think the easiest way to tell if your TV runs Android is to just unplug it from the wall and plug it back in, and see if it says Android or Google TV. This isn't foolproof. Sometimes TV makers will change the boot animation, so another way to check is to go into Settings, About, and see if it mentions Android in there. Also, if your TV has the Google Play Store on it, you can be pretty sure that it's Android. So let's say you have a TV that isn't a Sony, but you want to have an Android TV experience for the lack of ads and whatnot. Well, you probably want to get something like a NVIDIA Shield. Well, that is like the best option, kind of. NVIDIA Shield is pretty much unmatched in terms of performance and quality and the speed of the interface and all that. But, you know, there are lots of cheap Android set-top boxes. There's like the Xiaomi Mi Box, if you don't mind the Chinese government watching what you do all the time. There's a lot of options out there. You can go on eBay and get something for like 50 bucks probably that runs Android, and just plug it into your TV. The main things to look out for are like 4K video output, HDR if you care about that kind of thing, and like you know, the sound system stuff, if you have a sound system, you know, like Dolby Atmos or 7.1 surround, or just make sure it supports whatever your sound system is. If you care about that kind of thing, and you'll probably be fine. It'll probably work for your use case. One thing I will highly recommend is you don't use the remote that they give you, because it's probably terrible. Here's what the Shield gives you, at least my model of the Shield, which is about like the last generation. They have a new one, but I'm pretty sure it still comes with this controller, which is fine. It's okay. I don't know, it technically does everything I want it to, but like, it's a controller. Do you want, like I'm gonna be like this when I'm watching TV, like scrolling through the channels and stuff? Like, probably not. You're gonna wanna go on like Amazon or something and get yourself one of these bad boys. This is, That's a brand name if I've ever heard one. Little keypad remote thing. It has a touchpad so you can control the mouse, because like, Android has mouse support. Like, there's a cursor on your screen, and when we get later on into the video, we're going to be sideloading some phone apps onto your TV to have a much better viewing experience. But for a lot of those, you should probably just use this touchpad here to control them. There's also like a full keypad for typing, because, you know, using like this little circle thingy here to navigate a fake keyboard to type stuff in takes forever. Very cool. Would recommend. There's like a bunch of different ones of these. You don't have to get this exact one. There's a bunch of them. Would recommend. Before you go out and buy a brand new TV, or like buy like a NVIDIA Shield or Apple TV or something to replace your TV interface with, you should at least, like, I don't know, Google what options you have available for your TV for like removing ads and stuff. Like, there might be some kind of low-level hacky things that you can do on like an LG TV or Samsung or whatever. If you're really nerdy, if you're really into networking stuff, and you run like your own DNS server, like a Pi-hole or AdGuard Home or something, you can actually block the URLs that your TV goes out to get the ads. And that will help in a lot of cases. I mean, it might show just like a missing image icon on your TV or whatever, but like, you won't have an ad. And sometimes the TVs will have hard baked in like IP addresses and not need to use DNS to get the ads. So for that, if you're even more of a networking nerd and you have like a stateful firewall as a part of your router, you can go ahead and block those IP addresses and then not see those ads anymore. And if you have no idea what I was just talking about, then don't worry, just keep watching the rest of the video, because like, that was all pretty advanced stuff, but there are much easier things you can do to block these ads on your TV. So. Now, the gold standard, the ultimate thing you can do if you're trying to fully replace your TV interface with something really powerful and custom, is to build a home theater PC, like a PC that sits in your like entertainment console next to your TV, and it controls all of the things that you want to do. You know, you'd probably put like Linux on there, and you know, you could stream games from your gaming PC over like Steam Link or Moonlight or something, or you could even play games directly on your home theater PC if you make it powerful enough. And if you're considering doing this, well, then you're probably not watching this video, because like, even I don't do this. Like, that's way too much work for me, and I hack everything. So like, I don't know, if you want to do that, that's cool. Maybe if you got some spare PC parts lying around, you can throw something together, but that's going to be a constant nightmare of dealing with like if you watch streaming services, good luck using a home theater PC, because they want you to have a very locked down device. Like, if you've ever tried to watch like Netflix in a web browser, it doesn't look very good. I'm pretty sure it caps out at like 720p, and that's because of Widevine DRM encryption, that you need to have like a verified device keychain of trust going all the way from the thing that's loading the video up to the TV, and like, it's a whole bunch of stuff. And if you want to deal with that and try to get that working, well, you can do that. That's good on you. But like, this video isn't going to help you with that, because I'm not even going to do that. But anyways, just know that that's an option that you could do theoretically, but you won't. You probably won't. One of the easiest things you can do once you have an Android TV set up is to install a custom launcher. The default launcher on pretty much every Android TV box is going to be full of ads, which kind of sucks. So you're going to want to open up the Play Store, and I recommend ATV Launcher. That's what I use. So yeah, just install it. It's an app like any other app, and then when you open it, you have a new home screen. The launcher on Android is just the app that runs your home screen. It's an app like any other app. On iOS, you can't change it. It's called Springboard. Doesn't really matter, but you can't change it on iOS. But on Android, you can, because Android is cool. So yeah, install a custom launcher and set it up however you want. You can usually customize the icons, customize the widgets, however you want to do it. And you'll notice there's no ads on your home screen anymore. And that's like half the battle right there. So let's get a little more advanced now. You know, you got your custom launcher set up, and now let's start removing stuff that has ads on it. You know, remove all the bloat from your Android TV setup, right? So for this, you're gonna need ADB, which is Android Debug Bridge. It's a whole big topic, but basically it lets you control an Android device from a computer through a terminal. Yeah, we're getting into the terminal now. So if you're on Mac, just open up the terminal app. If you're on Windows, open up like PowerShell or maybe Windows Terminal. I think they have a terminal on Windows now. Anyway, on Windows, you're going to want to have the Scoop Package Manager. I'm not going to get into how to install that here. Just go to like scoop.sh, I think it is. Scoop Package Manager for Windows, and make sure you have that installed, right? It's usually like one command that you paste into your terminal, and then you'll have it. On Mac, you're going to want Homebrew, which is, you know, Google it, get Homebrew installed on your Mac. If you're on Linux, I'm sure you already know what to do. So on Windows, you're going to want to do scoop install ADB, or maybe it's Android Tools. It'll be on the screen. Look, there it is, right there. And if you're on Mac, you're going to want to do brew install Android Tools, or again, maybe it's just ADB. I don't know. It'll be on the screen, maybe. And on Linux, you can figure it out. You're on Linux, you know what's going on. All right, so now you have ADB installed in your terminal, and you know if you have that because you type ADB in your terminal, and it should print out a bunch of help info. So anyway, you got ADB installed. Next, you're going to want to enable wireless debugging on your Android TV. And to do that, you're going to need to make yourself a developer, which you go into Settings, About, and then mash on. I always forget if it's the model number or the build version. One of those options in there on screen here will be giving you developer access. And then once you do that, you go into the developer settings and you enable wireless debugging, or maybe ADB over Wi-Fi. It might have a different name depending on your device, but basically you're going to want to enable ADB, right? Once you do that, then you're going to want to do ADB connect and point it to the IP address of your device, which you can find in like your wireless settings or your wired settings, basically your internet settings on your Android TV. And it'll look like this. And then once it says connected, like that, then you are good to go to start removing some bloatware. It's really lame that you have to do this to remove like most of the stuff on Android box, but you know, got ADB installed, and you got your ATV launcher, and in your ATV launcher you should see a whole bunch of apps that are like garbage, right? Like Sony Smart Connect and Bravia Sync and like special offers and give Google your ad revenue. I don't know, a bunch of random apps that you don't want. So you're going to want to hold your like middle remote button or whatever your enter button is on your Android TV until you get like the extra menu, and then go to app info. And once you're in there, it should give you the bundle ID, which is like the internal real name of that app. And then you're going to want to type this command with the name of the app that you're trying to remove into your terminal, and watch as the app magically disappears from your home screen. Wow, look at that. That's so cool. You don't have ads in that app anymore, or you don't have that app at all. Very neat. So yeah, you're going to want to go through and basically do this to every app that you don't want on your device. Make sure it's not something that you need. Make sure you're not deleting like, I don't know, your settings menu or like your wireless connectivity or something. But if it shows up on your ATV launcher or whatever your custom launcher is, you can probably be sure that you can just delete it because it's just a normal app and not like a background service or something. So yeah, delete all those. And then finally, you're going to want to delete the stock launcher that comes with Android. In my case, that's like com.android.android TV launcher or something like that. I don't know, it'll be on screen here. But yeah, you're going to want to remove that, and it's fine. You can remove the built-in home screen. It's totally cool, and you'll just never have to deal with it again. If you want to make it a little easier, there is this program called like Universal Android Debloater. It's cool. Some guy on GitHub made it. It's been abandoned for like 2 years as of making this video. Someone should pick that up who has less of the laziness and can like pick up that project on GitHub. It's not going to be me. But basically, you're going to download this abandoned project and run it, and it will like kind of pick up your ADB settings and connect to your TV automatically if you're already connected with ADB. And then it'll list like all the programs that you can remove, a bunch of bloat, and it'll usually have a description on what it is. So you could be like, oh, this is like bullshit for like text-to-speech. Oh, I don't need that, and remove it. And you can do that with pretty much everything on your TV. Because the program's like abandoned, it's not going to have info for like a lot of stuff, honestly. So you might have to do some Googling if you really care to try to remove something. And a lot of the stuff doesn't even have info on Google. It's just kind of baked into Android. Nobody talks about it. So if you don't know what it is, don't mess with it, because you might mess up your Android TV and have to factory reset it. Ask me how I know. One of my favorite things you can do with Android TV, and it's not even related to the custom launchers or ADB or anything like that, although you will probably use ADB to install it, it's SmartTube. It's a YouTube replacement. So don't use the built-in YouTube TV app. It's not good. They constantly push features that are really annoying, and I personally, I don't like it. I don't like the lack of customization. There's like 3 settings in the Google TV app. Not cool. So you're going to want to install SmartTube. It's like a community-built YouTube player, and it's awesome. It lets you customize literally every aspect about the TV app, the size of icons, the things that are hidden from your home screen. You don't want to watch shorts, you can just hide them. You don't want to like, I don't know. Oh, it has Sponsor Block, dude. Sponsor Block is so cool, and it'll totally change the way you watch YouTube. So if you've never used Sponsor Block, right, it's like a giant database of every YouTube video and where all of the ads are in the video. Not just the ads, like the sections where someone's like, oh, like, subscribe, whatever, the interaction reminders, that's in there. Like basically every annoying part of a YouTube video is like cataloged in this giant database of Sponsor Block. And this is built into the SmartTube app. So as you're watching a video, you can set it up to automatically skip paid promotions or unpaid promotions, or like intros of videos if you want. Make sure you exclude me on your sponsor block in the settings on SmartTube, because my intros are cool. It brings back the dislike button. Remember that? It's not like a perfect recreation of the dislike button. It's another like community ran database, but it kind of speculates based on how many like upvotes and downvotes people with the plugin have, and it kind of like guesses how many downvotes a video would have based on how many people voted on it with the plugin. But it's kind of accurate. You can see the ratio pretty well, at least, which is really what you want with the dislike button. And there's so many settings in SmartTube that it's honestly like too much to mention in this video, and they're constantly updating it and adding new things. So what you're going to want to do to install SmartTube is you're going to want to go to their GitHub releases and download the SmartTube app that corresponds with your device's architecture. And that's kind of a big ask. It's like not really obvious what a thing is, but it's probably ARM64 if it's made like anytime recently. If you have like kind of an older Android TV, it might be the ARM7 ABI or whatever they call it. And if you're just like running Android on like a normal computer for some reason, then you can get the x86 version. If you don't know, then just kind of try all of them. There's only like 3 or 4 builds. Just try to ADB install each one, and it'll give you an error if you do the wrong one. I personally get it wrong like pretty often. So just try them out. Once you install SmartTube just the one time, it has a self-updater. So like if there's an update to the SmartTube app, in the sidebar it'll just show like an update button, and then you can update it right from there, and it'll update itself. So you don't got to worry about running ADB again after this. It is one of my favorite features of having an Android TV, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who watches YouTube on their TV. Well, I couldn't just not hack something in this Should You Hack video, so we're going to install a custom Android ROM onto this NVIDIA Shield. The steps are specific to this Shield, and it seems like you can't even do this on the newer models, so if you're interested in a fully rooted Android TV, you'll definitely want to look into that before buying your device. Like, do some Googling, make sure you can put a custom Android ROM onto the thing that you're trying to buy, if that's something that you want to do. What we're doing here is like rooting Android or jailbreaking an iPhone, except it's your TV box and we're installing a custom version of Android that's already rooted for you. The first step of installing a custom Android ROM on pretty much any device is unlocking the bootloader. The bootloader is like the first thing that like runs on the device when you turn it on and like is in charge of actually booting Android. I unlocked the bootloader to my Shield like 3 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it was like a couple ADB commands in the terminal and then plugging a keyboard into the Shield and holding some buttons down. I don't really remember, it was a while ago, and it's probably different for your device. Just make sure that it's even possible. A lot of devices have a locked bootloader, meaning there's not really a way to unlock it without doing some kind of exploit, or it's just impossible. After you unlock your bootloader, you may need to flash a custom recovery image onto your device. That's what I had to do for my Shield. This might not be necessary for every device out there, but basically it allows you to do more low-level things to your device that you normally can't do in your like recovery bootloader menu, like flashing a whole new OS. Next, you're going to want to download the custom ROM that you want to install. I'm going to be using Lineage OS, and it's honestly one of the few custom ROMs that still exist and get updates, just in general. Rooted Android is a dying breed, unfortunately, and when it comes to custom Android TV ROMs, I get the feeling that there's less than 1,000 people that are actually running them. The companies are winning. While Lineage OS is installing, let's talk about why someone would want to do this, especially when installing a custom launcher and removing apps like I showed earlier already gets rid of all of the ads. Well, for one, a lot of stock Android ROMs will sneakily push updates out that reinstall those disabled programs and revert your home screen changes. Now, sure, you can just repeat the steps from earlier in the video and get back to how things were, but that's really annoying to do regularly and randomly when you're just trying to watch some TV. My Shield doesn't really have this force update issue, or at least I haven't seen it, but my Sony TV does it all the time. It's usually overnight, so I'll just like wake up one morning and have home screen ads again. It's super annoying. So yeah, aside from not having to deal with that, custom ROMs just have less stuff installed by default. We can remove most of the visible apps on stock Android with ADB, but there's also a ton of background services. These are often not documented anywhere, so if you remove them with ADB, you might be soft locking your TV. You might accidentally remove a settings panel, or support for your TV remote, or even networking, so you can't even fix it over ADB since your TV won't connect to Wi-Fi. I've done this several times on my Sony TV actually, and had to do a full factory reset, which was also something that wasn't really documented anywhere. On a custom Android ROM, you can usually skip removing packages because it's already very minimal, and there's just less stuff running in the background, so your interface will be faster and more responsive. At this point, I'm booted into a custom recovery menu, and I'm installing the operating system through a USB cable and ADB sideload on a terminal. This is actually the second time I'm doing it, so you need to flash Google apps like the Play Store and other default Google apps like before you actually boot into your custom ROM for the first time. It's a standard thing for flashing custom ROMs, but basically if you don't already install Google apps right from the get-go, you're going to be out of luck unless you use Aurora Store or some other third-party Play Store alternative to get your apps. And maybe you're fine with that. Maybe you don't need the Play Store and you can just sideload everything, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. After the second attempt at installing Lineage OS, my Shield just wouldn't boot at all. I would start booting, show the Lineage OS logo, and then nothing would happen. Cool. I didn't want to boot anyway. It's fine. That's cool. That's fine. Fuck. And I just kept trying to reboot it, reflash it, and I tried over and over again until eventually I got really mad and shook the monitor and just kind of stormed out of the room. I paced around, I ate some food, took a break, and then I realized, yeah, since I'm reinstalling the OS for the second time or third time, I actually need to wipe the storage again. You need to do that before you install the OS every time, and that was my problem. That's why it wouldn't boot. So then I went back downstairs, hooked it all up again, wiped out the flash memory, and then reinstalled Lineage, and then it worked. Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow. Luckily, and I'm actually using this now as my main TV interface. This video actually gave me an excuse to do this. I've been wanting to do it for a while, I just didn't want to go through the effort. But I did, and I'm very glad I did, because the interface is so smooth, man. Oh, that's so much faster than it was before, hell yeah. There's a few random little hiccups here and there, like my Shield won't wake up with my TV now. Like before with the stock OS, I could turn my TV on and it would just automatically turn my Shield on, or I would switch to the HDMI input of the Shield and it would turn it on and everything would work. But now I have to manually turn the Shield on by pressing a button on that little keypad remote thing, which is fine. It's whatever. Small price to pay for a faster interface and less bloatware, At least I think so. Should do an outro. I did not write one. Should you hack your TV? I mean, yes, obviously, absolutely. Why would you want to look at ads on purpose on your TV that you paid for and you own? Come on, it's a very clear, easy choice. Yes, you should hack your TV. Replace your TV's interface with literally anything that doesn't show you ads. It's a no-brainer. If you disagree, then I don't know, enjoy eating the box of crayons that you have in front of you.